Fiona Harvey, aka the real-life Martha from the hit Netflix show Baby Reindeer, has just dropped a huge update regarding her lawsuit against Netflix, the producers of Baby Reindeer, and also Richard Gadd. A couple of days ago, in case you didn't see it, she did leave this note to Netflix essentially and the world, stating that she will be taking legal action against Netflix and the show's producers. She went on to state, "My name is Fiona Harvey. Earlier in 2024, Netflix released a program called Baby Reindeer, which they billed and marketed as a true story. One of the two characters was Martha, was clearly intended to be based on me. A senior Netflix executive gave evidence to Parliament on oath that Baby Reindeer was obviously a true story of Richard Gadd's dealings with a convicted stalker." Note, but bear in mind that those two parts there, convicted stalker and obviously a true story, are quoted because that is what was said within Parliament. No doubt Richard Gadd, Clerkenwell Films, who produced the programme, and Netflix have made millions of pounds from this programme, in large part by making so many claims that Baby Reindeer is a true story. I have no doubt that the character of Martha in Baby Reindeer was intended to be a portrayal of me. The problem for Richard Gadd and now Netflix is that Baby Reindeer is not a true story at all. I am not a, quote, convicted stalker. I have never been charged with any crime, let alone been convicted. Still less pleaded guilty, and of course, I have never been in prison for anything. This is how Gadd and Netflix chose to portray me in a TV show, for their own financial gain. Nobody ever approached me for any comment on the accuracy of Baby Reindeer or the very serious and damaging allegation that I am a convicted criminal with a serious criminal record who has spent time in prison. Nobody has ever asked for my position to present me in this way or to use my image at all. The media firestorm around Baby Reindeer and my rapid identification as, quote, the real Martha, have caused untold damage to my health, my reputation, my job prospects, and the ability to make sensible decisions about my welfare and best interests. This media firestorm continues, with daily bombardments of calls seeking a comment on stories on every possible kind. I am making this statement to make it clear that I will not be making any further media comment of any kind until further notice. With the assistance of a senior English lawyer, Chris Dorr KC, who we're going to be talking about in just a moment, I am putting together a legal team in the UK and the US, that's a pivotal point there for today's video, to take forward legal action against all of those who have lied about me and used my image to make large sums of money for themselves. With such damaging consequences for me and my family, Chris is not formally retained on my behalf and will not be making any media statement of any kind in relation to my position or any other media stories until further notice. Once I have a legal team in place, I expect that they will make further statements, setting out the next steps, and I will be taking to deal with everything that has happened as a direct result of the dishonest and false picture of me painted in Baby Reindeer and in the media generally. In the meantime, for the good of my health, please respect my privacy and please stop the endless calls and messages asking for interviews, comments, and so many other things. I have made it clear that I am not physically able to cope with the relentless harassment from journalists, and if this continues, I will make a report to the police. Fiona Harvey, 20th of May, 2024. So that was the first inkling that we had that she was obviously going, well, we knew before on Piers Morgan Uncensored that she was planning to take legal action, but whether that was just a threat, we didn't know. But now it really seems like this is exactly what she's going for. She's going down the route of defamation. She's going down the route of basically being misrepresented on camera. That statement there was written from Fiona Harvey, but presented from Chris Dorr KC, who is this man right here. Alright, so he is a very well accredited lawyer. So his areas of practice are business and specialist crime, criminal law, inquests and inquiries, health and safety, professional discipline and regulatory. His expertise is all there. Directory recommendations and some huge notable cases, and I'm not going to read them all off because we will be here for a very long time, but obviously the Hillsborough disaster inquest, which of course was during the the unfortunate Anfield and Hillsborough disaster at the Liverpool game, and some other huge notable cases that have gone on as well. So he's used to a rodeo in core. And obviously at the time when he was with Piers Morgan Uncensored, a couple of days after the Fiona Harvey initial interview, he wasn't sure whether he was going to take the case. But of course, with the ever-growing popularity of this case, him being the first kind of being asked to do it, I don't think he could have turned this down. And I don't think any lawyer who was presented with this case, such a notable case, would have turned it down. But Chris Dorr KC posted to his Twitter page just a little over 24 hours ago, stating that he had breaking news on the baby reindeer scandal. And this came from the Roth Law Firm PLLC, who we're going to get onto in just a moment. So this is a media release, Fiona Harvey, baby reindeer. And it went on to state, Fiona Harvey, the real, quote, Martha on the television show Baby Reindeer, who was never convicted by contacted by Netflix or any person in or entity associated with the show, has retained the Roth Law Firm PLLC, located at 295 Madison Avenue, New York, in connection with her legal claims related to the production. In furtherance thereof, steps are being taken to demand that Richard Gadd, Netflix and Clerkenwell Films and any related individuals and entities take all necessary steps to preserve evidence. Leading British barrister Chris Dorr KC will assist the US legal team. All worldwide media requests and information should be sent to Roth Law Firm PLLC info and then their information. So this is pretty huge because obviously Netflix are, I believe, a UK-based firm, but they also obviously have connections out in the US. So initially we had obviously Chris Dorr, who was the UK-based lawyer who was going to be taking it from the UK angle, but now by bringing in Roth Law Firm, that means that they are obviously expanding over to the US and they are going for Netflix's jugular because they are not just going to take down the UK side of things, they're going international. This is going to become an international law case and this is going to be huge. Again, the Roth Law Firm, another one where they just couldn't turn down this case because of the notoriety, how big this whole story's become. This is huge for them, and obviously the payout is going to be immense, which means a big fat payday for the law firms and obviously Chris Dorr as well. But the Roth Law Firm PLLC, looking on their website, basically they specialize in entertainment and business litigation and arbitration. So they specialize in this kind of case. They specialize in taking on huge conglomerates like Netflix, Disney, I should imagine if they needed to, Nickelodeon, I don't know, all those other big companies that everyone's probably too scared to take on because they are huge, they've got deep pockets. This is the company that you'd go to take on those kind of companies. So basically, Fiona Harvey is locked and loaded with this case. She's gone balls deep. She's gone to the balls to the wall, and she's going for everything. But there have been obviously some other statements as well regarding the aggressive law firm and the aggressive, I guess, way that they've gone about things. So the Real Life Martha from Baby Reindeer hires aggressive US law firm, which wants Netflix to preserve evidence as she prepares to launch legal action against the producers of the hit show and telling lies about her. Now, of course, at the time of recording, Netflix, Richard Gadd, the production company, the producers, haven't uttered a peep about this case. They haven't spoken about Fiona Harvey regardless, whether that's because they are very well aware that anything that they do say would probably be used against them in a court of law. They don't obviously want to incriminate themselves any further should they already be in legal trouble. And they don't obviously want to confirm that Fiona Harvey is who Martha was portrayed on, because if they do, then she has got a very clear-cut case. But anyway, going back to this Daily Mail article, Netflix has been warned to preserve evidence by the Manhattan lawyers acting for the woman identified as the real baby reindeer stalker. Fiona Harvey has instructed aggressive New York attorneys, the Roth law firm, who boast that they take a gloves-off approach to fighting for their clients. It comes after Miss Harvey prepares to sue the creators of the hit Netflix drama after vowing legal action against the streaming giant and the comedian Richard Gadd, who wrote and starred in the acclaimed mini-series. Bear in mind that Fiona Harvey, of course, has self-proclaimed herself as Martha. This hasn't been confirmed, like I said before, by anybody. So this is just her word alone. So it's almost like her word against Netflix's. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out and to see the evidence that Netflix was to bring forward, because this could be a closed case, I suppose. Anyway, she has declared that she is clearly the person depicted as the sick stalker Martha, and believes that the show's creators have made millions from telling lies about her. And obviously there's some pictures of the pair there. And then when we go down, right down to the bottom, in the 7-part drama is billed by the streaming giant as a true story, not even based on a true story, though there is the segment at the very end, obviously. On the final scene of every episode, there is, after the credits have rolled, basically stating that parts of the series have been changed for dramatic purposes. Events, people, and places have been changed for dramatic purposes. So I think that could be Netflix's buyout clause, because they could be like, well, we have got this. And also, the true story part only pops up on the very first episode after the kind of prologue. So, you know, and there is an argument to be made that is written from the point of view of Donnie, not Richard Gadd. And Donnie obviously is a fictional character within the story, within that little world. So it's his true story, perhaps, but it's from a fictional story, so it's a fictional true story, if that makes sense. Check out my video from a couple of days ago if you want to understand that a bit further. So, my computer stopped working. There we go. Right, so, and yet it depicts Martha as pleading guilty for being jailed for 9 months, which she said never happened. Miss Harvey, 58, who lives in central London, insists that it is a complete fantasy to suggest that the criminal record conviction, and therefore paints a dishonest and false picture of me. It took internet sleuths almost no time to identify her as the real Martha from clues in the story. She is being helped by the British barrister Chris Dorr KC, who is assisting the Manhattan lawyers. Yesterday, the company warned Netflix and Mr. Gadd and the production company Clerkenwell Films not to delete any potential evidence ahead of legal proceedings. I highly doubt that they're going to. And it went on to state, obviously, what we've already spoken about. So this is getting real spicy real quick. Like, things are really heating up in the law department. I truly didn't think that it was going to get this far. I thought that it was kind of an empty threat on Piers Morgan. But clearly, there must be something. You wouldn't have these two giants take on this case if there wasn't weight behind it. Like, there must be something. And Netflix are going to have to pull out an absolute worldie if they think that they're going to survive this one. Because this could be, well, this could be, like, monumental in the entertainment industry. And it could really change the way that platforms and production companies go forwards with what they deem to be true stories in the future, and just kind of basing it on a true story as opposed to flat out saying this is a true story. How do you guys think it's going to go? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump to get the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new, and tick on my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload. And until next time, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed. I cannot wait to see you in the next one, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.